Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Rune Gold. We have just flown out of that massive cavern on our insect friend, and now we see the fortress of Thorstadt. Let's hear what Odin has to say about it, because Odin's got things to say.
As I foretold, you have won your way to the surface, and before you lies the mountain fortress of Thorstadt. Darkness lies inside those walls, as does Conrack, and vengeance for your father's death.
Now I know that before I have mentioned how I like some parts of this game, like the initial caves at the very beginning, the Goblin Caves part from the last update, and the cutscene of the flight on the insect. But this section of the game here, upcoming Mountain Fortress of Thorstadt, is legit hands down my favorite part of this entire game. It's the most atmospheric. I think the gameplay might be the most fun, even though in parts it's kind of bullshit. Those guys, the one that just left, having killed that goblin, are going to be our main enemies. Humanoid enemies, finally, Vikings. We had an introduction to them in one of those statues that came to life at the end of Hell. But here there's going to be lots of them. Now here's an interesting place. Just after I kill this goblin, there is what seems to be possibly a secret. Because here you can kind of walk up this thing and jump. There's 3 crabs here, no other way to go, and no prizes. I am unsure as to the purpose of that part. Maybe there's something there on easier difficulties. I don't know. Unlike Crusaders, I don't really want to play this game through on easier difficulties just to see if there is differences, because I don't actually see there being many differences. It's not that kind of game. Maybe less enemies and stuff like that. Also, this guy might be the same guy that just ran away, because it's the same place, but might not be the same model, I don't know. Haven't really looked too closely. But whatever. Important part is not us dead, it's him, so it's all fine.
The wave is returning. He is upon us.
Okay, they just call that white beast thing some name like Wendell or whatever. I could never hear it, by the way, that's a dumbass. I could never hear it very well, so I will keep calling that thing like white beast maybe, or something related to that. I mean, you will know who I'm talking about anyway, so whatever. But he has an official name, so yeah, maybe he's from the mythology legit. I'm not sure. Man, I'm just terrible at being informative today. But yeah, these guys, when I played this game on hard the first time, I thought they were complete bullshit and impossible. When I played a test run to Thorstadt today, even though I'm not going to be recording the entirety of Thorstadt, I also thought they were kind of bullshit. But I seem to be better at it. I kinda like breaking shields before dealing with them, using my mace club thing, because it's best at breaking shields. And it's just more satisfying killing them with an axe or a sword after they have lost their shield, because it's easier and all of your hits actually land. And now I'll perform a trick. That's kind of like, you know, swiping the curtain, no, not the curtain, the thing from the table, leaving all the food intact. That's kind of what I did, but the Viking version. Tablecloth, I guess. Yep, exactly. So yeah, those guys, fighting them is kind of tricky, because it's all about timing your own swings and moving back and forth, because they do not attack as soon as they should, because their weapon range is slightly larger than the radius at which they attack, and you should exploit that. Okay, I'm gonna go on another tangent here. This is a great place, really old school kind of place. You look up, you see stones falling, and you jump across when you see the gap in the stones. It's very simple, but in my own experience, at least on myself, by the way, I promise it doesn't take this long usually. I just don't think to look up and watch the stones fall. I just try to jump across randomly and then blame the game at being bullshit and unfair, even though it's completely fair and you can get a good indication when you should jump. But of course, if you get hit by one of those large rocks, you get jibbed to pieces and just insta-KO'd. But yeah, it's one of those things which is kind of obvious and kind of simple and avoidable and fair if you just use some brain matter. But I'm fairly certain that modern games wouldn't do this kind of thing, which is why I appreciate old games. They demanded a little bit more out of you, but of course that makes it more rewarding when you succeed than just some sort of, I don't know, roller coaster of a game that's prevalent today. Alright, let's go follow that thing, because it's gonna find itself against 2 whole Vikings, and that's enough to kill it. And I'll be helping it because I don't want to face off 2 Vikings after they have done killing this guy. Vikings, these guys are vicious. Of course, I will not be able to avoid taking on multiple of them in the future. In fact, in this very update there is a place near the very end when there's like a crowd of them. But I have ways to deal with them. And those ways are pretty amusing. Let's just say that. Okay, breaking the shield again. Yeah, you can kind of see what fighting them amounts to. Sometimes you can circle strafe them, but it seems to be a bit more risky and not quite as surefire as just back and forth, back and forth. By the way, thanks for the Roman sword. I wanted it back. And there is absolutely nothing in this little chapel, or whatever it is. Like steeple, I don't know. Nothing, even not a single bell. And not a single, I mean, I would expect there to be only one bell. I don't know why I said that, but you know what I mean. Not a bell, even. And we are coming up to Thorstadt proper. Let's go listen to Odin once again on this altar of evil.
Gonrak has made his seat a haven of corruption and decadence, gaining power from his followers' worship of the dark gods. Seek the betrayer within the temple of Loki and strike your blow for vengeance.
So yeah, reminding us our goal is revenge, killing Konrak. Odin looks kinda goofy with his mouth open. By the way, here is the only difference between this version and classic. Let me show you. That piece of shit. This monster, I think it's like Frost Giant or something. He is, like all new enemies added in classic, really annoying, and I don't want to say like the previous monsters as well, because the skeletons are kind of fair. This guy is really stupid bullshit. You can see he has quite insane reach, and I was not able to dodge him reliably. Here's my several attempts, just to show you. And as usual, never mind the Russian text above, because I'm too lazy to switch my languages in the Steam version here. So yeah, there is that guy. I mean, the knights can kind of kill you as knights, the Vikings can kill you as fast, sometimes if you're not careful, but it's way easier to get good at fighting them. Well, then again, I've had much more practice against them than this guy. And sometimes you can just kinda luck out like that, I don't know what the hell happened there. But yeah, this guy, I'm glad I don't have to fight these guys for real. Also, you can do this, I don't know what this power even is, but apparently he doesn't seem very interested in counterattacking, so I just combo him and completely wreck his ass. So this is kind of cathartic, whatever, cathartic. Feels good, man. That's the Antroid way of saying it. There's a statue of one of those Wendels, or whatever they are called, white beasts. Doesn't come to life, sadly, like a lot of statues in this game.
Who is that?
Those guys saw me before I even went across the corner here, I think, but it's good to kill them because there is a better axe there, which will serve me for a while in Thorstadt. Speaking of Thorstadt, oh yeah, watch at how these guys kill each other, and by kill I mean of course just hit each other, but still it's kinda really funny. Especially that, like his swing, his back swing, nailed that guy in the chin and killed him. That was hilarious, I think. But yeah, Thorstadt. There's the magical floating axe. The letter in the middle of that name is actually T and not D. By the way, these guys really hate goblins. So, it's not Thorstadt, like I want to say it. It's Thorstadt, the Thorstadt. I cannot make my mouth say that reliably. Thorstadt. I think I will have to keep saying Thorstadt, because that's just how... I cannot do anything else about it, I'm sorry. Also, I want to go get that delicious fruit. Not these ordinary shit fruits. This is the great one. Delicious.
Look at the lowland wreckage that has washed up against our wall. He's a sorry sight. I'll call out the guard. And disturb great Sigurd? I'll handle this one myself.
Okay. I eagerly await you trying to handle me. These guys, if you listen to some of the things they say, they have really kind of creepy homoerotic subtext to what they say sometimes, because they pretty much insinuate how feminine I am, or young, which equates in their mind, I think they comment how luscious my hair is, and comment like one of them in the future says like, I'm going to braid your hair into pigtails for grabbing, or something like that, he says. So yeah, that's kinda unfortunate, but, well, Odin did say that this is like a place of decadence, so who knows who they're... That I didn't want to say who they're doing, what they're doing, but I mean, there is a ring of truth to my misspeech there. Who knows who they're doing in there? Even though there's multiple legs of meat, there don't even seem to be any farm animals of any sort. Maybe they killed them all right before I came in there. So yeah. Let's avoid that topic in the future. Okay. By the way, these new weapons have some awesome rune powers. This axe for one, actually is follower, and I mean the power is called follower, and whoever you hit becomes your ally and is fighting on your side. This is, by the way, I think where they spotted me from. I mean, where they have meant to have spotted me from, because obviously there is not like legit line of sight detection there. There's just cutscene based on how you approach the fortress itself. Also, it's suddenly night and the skies are clearer than before, but it makes this place like the best atmospheric place in the entire game. I love it. My favorite place, bar none. Also, I don't know where I got these clothes, because this guy is still completely clothed, even though it's implied that I took his garments. Oh well. I mean, it would have been a cool attention to detail if they modeled a naked guy, but whatever. Not Hitman, this game. And I didn't really want to stare at a naked Viking anyway, so maybe it's a blessing in disguise.
It's that boy, Ragnar!
Alright, let's fight. Exploiting the stupidity of the AI. There's enough of these guys in Thorstadt that you will get a complete taste of how it is to fight them, different configurations of them, different weapons, different numbers. So when there is a possibility of abusing some of the AI, I will happily take it, because it's funny. And sometimes it's very funny. Unfortunately, the better cases of AI exploitation don't fall into this update. This update is just this one first level of Thorstadt, and after that it's over. It's over, man! Then the bulk of Thorstadt will be next update, so look forward to that. This is just like a little taste for you, to get you excited about it. Okay, first of all I'm gonna go grab myself a rune of power, because I will need it in the future, in the very close future. Swimming under the ice like a boss. There's my rune. Okay, selecting all the most powerful weapons here, just for convenience in the future when I'm in a combat situation. It's kind of unfortunate to have to select weapons in the middle of a fight. Okay, here's how you actually progress. some of the ways to progress in these levels is kind of, are kind of confusing.
You're trapped, little dog.
Yeah, there's some strange stuff going on. Some people kill each other, I don't know. Some of
There's
them...
an intruder around here somewhere.
Yeah, it's me, I'm right here. Some of these Vikings actually fight each other and kill each other, and I think some of them are supposed to be like traitors to the case of Konrak and Sigurd. They don't really want to follow them anymore, but most of them are devout followers and they kill everyone who is considered a traitor. At least that's what I understand, because there's some dialogue about that.
He's in the sewer. Don't find him.
Yeah, a few more goblins here in the sewer. Those guys completely saw me in here. Maybe through that grate. But they apparently don't know the layout of their own sewer because they didn't know where to look.
I couldn't find him. He must be hiding.
Yeah, I'm so totally hiding. I'm hiding a lot. Okay, breaking some shields. Not really much to say about this all, surprisingly enough. I might as well comment, I think this game is the most playable out of the three I'm doing right now, because the fights are alright. The combat, apart from, I guess, the beginning of Hell, where you don't have a good sword against the zombies, which makes them kind of annoying and not really fun. For the most part in this game, the combat is fun, even though it gets really, really challenging and sometimes feel like bullshit until you learn. The character is the best, obviously, much better than Blade of Darkness and Crusaders characters in terms of how well it's controlled. Because this guy doesn't fuck around. By the way, that guy who looks like a Minotaur, there, still having trouble with that word for some reason. Those are called Berserkers, and they are the most dangerous because even though they have the same weapons, they attack much more viciously somehow, and they are more likely to land hits even though they don't even have shields or anything. Down here there is absolutely nothing, apart from this guy. You can kill after a bunch of hits to the crotch, which is cruel now that I'm looking at it. I didn't really notice while playing. And of course you can jump on this drum a bunch. I don't think it does absolutely anything, so whatever. What was I even talking about? Ah yes, the playability. I mean, the combat probably objectively is the best in Blade of Darkness, even though it has a lot of those situations. Oops, wait for a cutscene here.
Catch this!
Well, actually I can pretty much talk throughout the cutscene, it's not really important.
Did you hear that?
That game features a lot of these situations where a player character is handicapped in annoying ways.
That armor looks big on you, gelding!
Like, limited by slow animations and stuff like that. Crusaders is just really wonky, but mostly jumping. Like, the combat handling is fine in that game. But Rune here is, this guy is the best, the most agile, the most flexible, the best controls, the best at climbing, the best at everything. He's just a pleasure, and look at this double kill. Of course I'm gonna jeep the corpses as well, because this is just such a success. And I think visually this game is the best, and probably atmospherically as well. Not to say that other games are bad. Even Crusaders I wouldn't consider really bad, because, you know, probably you all do, but whatever. I enjoy it. Whoa! And that's what happens when you don't think that the guy is going to attack you right away, because he just killed someone that would have been your enemy.
Where are you going so late at night, friends?
So now I'm forced to be careful. Thankfully, I learned to be careful in this game. I learned how to be careful as well. Pretty simple when you break it down, I guess. Oh wait, gotta show you, this is pointless and not really needed in any way, but There's a little cutscene pointing out this extremely obvious trap. You lose absolutely nothing if you don't watch this. It's just like hee 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 hee. Yeah, exactly that. Surprise, motherfuckers. Alright. That's always pleasant. That guy's running away because he is trying to lure us into an ambush, actually. And that part is probably one of the first really tough situations, because I don't know why those guys are just much more dangerous than the previous guys. Maybe just because of the same cool axes that they have. But I have rune power and I have this weapon, which has an awesome rune power. Let me show you. Blaze! With every attack you do this ring of fire. Enjoy the crispy, really thin, burnt out Vikings that you will see right now when they are put out. Check out how thin they are. That effect is the best. It's like the most comical thing. You thought it was funny on goblins or zombies, but you haven't seen Vikings yet. Yeah, that's the best. Just completely. Some other weapon powers are useful, like the ally power or the axes that you can throw infinitely. They're useful, but this thing, it's the best at eliminating crowds, and it's just satisfying and funny on top of that, so it's my choice. Okay, that guy is kinda stupid because, well, you will see right now. First of all, of course, he has to break all his barrels, and then he dies in one hit. Reliably, I must say. So I don't know what's up with that. But anyway, some more scorched Vikings incoming. There is thankfully a rune right here. We have just enough for this blaze thing again. Now I just gotta run around and group them together nicely, which they don't really want to do because some of them are very eager to run to specific places for whatever reason, I don't know. Let's go hit a bunch of them, maybe that'll get their attention. This actually is meant to be a pretty hard place, but of course this rune power makes it kind of hilarious. I wonder if me using more rune power, wow, they can jump, will make certain future parts of this game easy, like a big fight against lots of super skeleton zombies somewhere right before one of the final bosses, let's just say that. Because that place is like the last place I would call truly bullshit in this game. But maybe if I keep that axe that makes people allies, doesn't eat as much rune power as some other rune powers, which actually help kill people in one hit, but maybe that's more useful because it kind of kills two monsters with one hit and you can affect multiple monsters. You know what? Let's save it for when we get to try it. But for now, let's time to blaze some Vikings. And I don't know why I said let's time. That's really stupid. But then again, I'm just so enraptured by what's going on the screen right now. These stick figure Vikings. I cannot get over it, it's the best. This guy is chopping up all the corpses. Ultra violence. And look for some food. I think there's a fruit somewhere on there. One of those ledges. There's probably meat as well, but I didn't really want to go spend time looking for it. So let's just finish this level and with it this update, sadly. As I said, the majority, the bulk of Thorstadt will be next. This is just a little appetizer. And here I was legit afraid that I was being squished by the planks, but no. This is a cutscene transition. Those planks are harmless. But I would have had to replay this whole level if I was actually squished by the planks. Thankfully it didn't happen. So yeah, next time, the majority of Thorstadt, the best area in the game. So for now, thank you for watching and see you next time. Goodbye.